You're watching Let's Chat.
We get to spend some time with our friend Christopher Shaw today from Final Flash Productions, where he gets super excited to talk about taking your brand content seriously. And I think this is something that's growing so much now that we have social media is everywhere. This has really been changing the game for you. Christopher Shaw, thank you so much for making the time to be here.
Blessings. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you.
So tell me, Final Flash Productions has been in the game for over 20 years. What inspired you to start this company, and how has your vision evolved over time?
So, well, Final Flash Productions itself has been in business for about 3 years now. But the journey of being a photographer started about 20 years ago when I was 12 years old. In middle school, my art history teacher put a camera in my hand for the first time. And going into that, I really didn't have an idea of what I was going to do with this thing. I was into drawing, I was into sports, but a camera was completely foreign. But what made me fall in love with it, long story short, is I took a photo of a flower on a lily pad. I'll never forget it. And from that point, it made me realize that it was the way that I saw the world for the first time. And I always looked at TV show. As a kid, you watch TV shows and yada, yada, yada. But that's someone else's artistic vision of the world. This was the first time I was able to give mine. And so that kind of just followed me throughout my life indirectly. I didn't really have any direction with it. And I got to a point where I was kind of overdoing a specific art style. I was a dancer for a very long time. I studied it, and I was ready to walk away from that. And I was trying to figure out where I would go next. And I looked over and my camera was sitting there. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something with this. And here we are.
It's a beautiful story. It really is cool, though, how, I mean, photographers, you guys do so much to capture moments in time, capture people's memories, and I think that that's such an incredible story. Your work specializes, obviously, in high-quality product photography and also brand storytelling. What do you think sets your visuals apart from other competition out there?
Well, so we pride ourselves on communication. We want to have a deep understanding with our client. I have a saying that we don't want to be on the same page. We want to be in the same sentence as our client, because that creates a synergy between the two. So when you're able to have a deep understanding of what the client's wants and needs are, and you're able to pair that with creativity and the capabilities that we're able to bring and put those two things together, then it generally will breed a product that both parties can be proud of, and that's how and a combination like that will always bear good fruit. So.
Absolutely. With the rise, especially, we talked about this a moment ago, social media, digital marketing, all those things that can really be at your fingertips, maybe people shooting things with a smartphone. How important is professional photography and videography for brands today that people might not even realize?
For me, and I'm kind of biased here, but for me, it's the most vital that you can have. If finance is number one, then the marketing aspect has to be 1A, right? So being able to having visibility for your brand, again, even on social media, you want to be able to establish a specific way you're going to communicate and who you're going to communicate with. And you can have the cell phone aspect, because that creates more of a behind-the-scenes look of what's going on, but that polished, professional look, that's what sets up your brand. And that goes all the way from headshots to your brand ethos of what your brand actually wants to say to your customers.
Well, I mean, I know I'm in a field where a lot of, I'm on social media all the time, you're checking things, but sometimes it is kind of the make or break of maybe I want to go try this business, maybe I want to give this person a follow. That you never know that their social media really, it takes you that extra step, and it really is important that I don't think many people think about. Can you walk us through your creative process when you're working with a client, how to bring their vision to life?
So again, it all falls back into communication. Generally, it starts out with an email. You can go to my website, and we have discovery forms, and that allows you to kind of get an introduction of, well, allow my team and I to have an introduction of what it is that you want. So if you want photo and video, we'll know that, what your budget is, what your vision is, and who you are, and things of that nature. And from that point, we'll go on into have a consultation. And once we get a very strong understanding at that point, we'll just use product photography as an example. If we have someone mail us products, and at that point, it's just me and my team having a brainstorming session to get an understanding of what we want to highlight in these, and then just kind of building out from there. So it's very collaborative, to say the least.
There's a lot that goes into it, not just, hey, I want you to make me this thing. Like, you really have to,
I wish it was that simple.
You wish it could be that simple, but there's so much that you guys have to put thought into. about before we even get to the final product of an advertisement. Well, Christopher, thank you again for making the time to be here. Tell me where people could go for the latest information about your business and how to just get in contact with you.
Sure. So if you, we're all on social media, right? So you can actually follow Final Flash Productions at Final Flash Pro. If you want to get a little bit more of a behind the scenes of how everything goes, you can follow my personal Instagram at Chris Flash Shaw. You can email me at ChristopherShaw@FinalFlashPro, and you can also visit our website at FinalFlashPro.com.
Awesome. Thank you again for making the time to be here. I truly think that this is so amazing, and the work that you guys do, it really is changing businesses, and it's changing the world as we know it. For the latest information, go visit them online to set up advertisement, a shoot, anything that you can think of. We're in for a short commercial break, but when we come back here on Let's Chat, we'll be spending some time with Medicare Misty, so stay with us.